Okay, my name is Sharon Thomason. I live in Panama City, Florida, with my husband and my son, who is 37. He has a CAG of 45. He was diagnosed when he was 24, retroactive to when he was 21. And we take care of him here at home. I've been living with Huntington's since 1983. For some reason, my screen keeps shifting, Kayla. I don't know what's going on.
It looks fine on my end.
You can still see me?
Yes.
Okay, then I won't worry about it. Okay, so anyway, Randy's dad and I got married in 1983, and I knew he was at risk for Huntington's. Of course, back then there was no genetic test for Huntington's, and I didn't really know what it was other than that it caused chorea. And so I just really didn't know anything about it. And when he started having symptoms, it wasn't chorea, it was behavioral and cognitive things. And when he was finally diagnosed, it was on the basis of family history and an MRI and just a clinical diagnosis. And we ended up getting divorced because it wasn't safe for Randy and me to live with him anymore. And then he and two of his brothers passed away from Huntington's. And then the same year that Paul passed away, Randy tested positive with a CAG of 45. And about 3 years later, he had a psychotic break, and that started us on the journey of trying to figure out what was wrong with him, and eventually led us to the diagnosis. And I started looking for help. And of course, by then there was social media, and I started connecting with people over the internet and chat rooms and that sort of thing. And I ended up connecting with an organization, a grassroots organization called Help4HD. And I got really excited about what Help4HD was doing, because it was very different from anything else that was going on. I had been involved with other HD organizations, and there wasn't anything that seemed to meet the needs of families, but Help4HD did. And so I started working with them. Like I said, it's a grassroots nonprofit organization that got its 501c3 status actually 10 years ago. And I'd like to tell you about some of the things that we do. We offer education events. We have a symposium every year. And those events are always free of charge. We never ask community members for money. We never ask community members to fundraise. And usually we have scholarships for rooms. Sometimes we have scholarships for travel. And we include meals at our events. So our first one, once COVID came along, we had to rethink how we were doing things. And so like most of the rest of the world, we ended up going virtual. And so that first year of COVID, everything was virtual. And the second year of COVID, everything was virtual until towards the end of the year, we were finally able to all get together and have a live event in Orlando. So since then, we've done kind of a hybrid model. And that's what we're doing this year. Our first event is this month, and we have a virtual Hype Day. Hype stands for Highly Interactive Participant Education. And the way it works is that you register for the event on our website, which is www.help4hd.org. You register for the event. We send you a swag box that includes a really cool t-shirt, a pill box that has room for AM and PM. I think this one has a phone charger in it. A Go cup that has a bottom part that you can put thicket in without mixing it up yet. So you can take it with you and then add the thicket to the liquid later on and mix it. So we always try to include really cool things like that. So that'll be mailed out to you, but those are going fast. I think when I talked to Katrina today, who's our vice president, there were about 20 of those boxes left. So those will be mailed out, and then you'll get an email that gives you the information for signing in to the event. And you'll be able to watch it on Zoom like this, or you can also live stream it on Facebook. And the way Hype works is that there'll be a panel of experts, and you submit questions ahead of time, and the questions are submitted anonymously, and the experts answer your questions. And the theme of this is yes, no, maybe so. So the experts who are going to be on this panel are Karen Anderson from Georgetown, Joy Huko, who's the research coordinator from Georgetown, Erin First-Stemming, who's from Texas, from Houston, and Emily Pachota, who is a social worker. And right now it escapes me. I think she's from Georgetown as well. So these are experts who will be able to answer questions that you have, like things like, should I have long-term care insurance before I get tested? should I get genetic counseling before I get tested? Is it true that children cannot inherit juvenile onset Huntington's disease from their mother? You may have questions about research. What's the latest on the whatever trial is you want to know about? And these panelists will be able to answer those questions. Then we'll also have later this year a live event in Puerto Rico. That one's going to be in May, and it'll be all in Spanish. And then we will have a live event in Michigan in August, along with a CIT training. CIT is crisis intervention training, and we're going to be up there training crisis intervention teams what to do if they come upon a situation where someone with Huntington's is involved. What can they do to de-escalate the situation, to keep from making the situation worse? And then that's going to be back to back with the Michigan Hype Day. And then our symposium this year, in celebration of our 10th anniversary as a registered nonprofit, is going to be in mid-October in San Diego, back where we started in California. All of this is paid for by grants, so there's no cost to anyone who attends. You may have to pay for travel. Hopefully we'll have grants that will provide scholarships for rooms, and that will be announced later. And there'll be applications on the website as those become available. And hopefully we'll get some really good grants that will make those things available. The next really big thing that we have coming up is we have 7 JHD moms who are going to meet with the FDA this Friday, day after tomorrow. This is a historic meeting. They are going to talk with the FDA about the absolute necessity of including children in clinical trials, because so far there is nothing for juvenile onset Huntington's disease. And they are going to try and convince the FDA that that needs to change. And they are going in there with slides and their stories and all of their passion to convince the FDA that that needs to change. And it needs to change sooner rather than later. So be thinking good thoughts for them on Friday about noon Eastern time. In addition to following us on our website, you can follow us on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. We have a YouTube channel. We have Blog Talk Radio with over 500 episodes in the archive that have shows on every topic you could possibly imagine. And you can go on the site Blog Talk Radio. You can also find it on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio. We also have several books that we've published. Our latest book, and we gave about 250 of these away at our last symposium, which was in Nashville in October this past year, is an HD cookbook. And it contains recipes written by the community for the community, and all of the recipes were vetted by a speech language pathologist and a neurodietitian who have worked with Huntington's disease and are familiar with Huntington's disease. And it also has tips about tools and utensils that you can use to make eating and feeding easier to avoid choking. All of our books, Life Interrupted Volumes 1 and 2, What I've Learned as a Caregiver, I Fight for Understanding, and the HD Cookbook, all of those are available on Amazon, and they are available in paperback as well as on Kindle. Usually at our symposia, we give away books, but if you want one in the meantime, you can look on Amazon and you can purchase those. Let's see, we also have a law enforcement program. I'm really proud of this. This started a few years ago. There was a young man in West Virginia who had Huntington's, and he was taking his kids to the park, and there were some cops who thought that he was either drunk or under the influence of drugs, and they stopped him and they beat him to a pulp. And some lady filmed it and it went viral. And so we asked HDSA, we found out that there was going to be a meeting of the International Association of Chiefs of Police in Orlando. And we asked HDSA to pay $1,000 for a booth at the IACP meeting. And we would man the booth and educate the police chiefs. And they did not want to do that. So we purchased a booth, and in a month's time, we put together educational materials, and we got together a team of 5 people, and we went to Orlando and we educated about 350 police chiefs. And from that, our law enforcement program was born. And since that time, we have gone all over the country educating police chiefs about, or not just police chiefs, but sheriff's departments too, law enforcement in general, about what to do if you encounter somebody with Huntington's disease. And we have flash drives with all of this information that can be downloaded off of our website. We also have Vicki Owen, who is in charge of our LEAP program, Law Enforcement Education Program, who will send out the law enforcement education materials to anybody who requests it free of charge. And like I said, we go to conferences all over the country and educate police chiefs, sheriff's conventions, and whatnot. Let's see. We also typically have relief funds. We do a holiday relief fund where we help provide holiday meals for families living with Huntington's at Thanksgiving and over the winter holidays, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. And we help buy gifts for kids living with JHD. Right now, there's no money in that fund. We're waiting on grants. And we also, when we get grant money in, we help people with utility bills or with buying medicine, things like that. Everybody that works with Help4HD comes from an HD family. We all get it because we're all living it. We have 2 paid employees, and they are paid entirely by grants. So I think that's about it. So I'll open it up now for questions.
Miss Sharon, did you get the message I sent you just a second ago?
I did not.
Okay. Ironically enough, Katie was messaging me during your talk to ask you to mention about Help4HD TV.
Yes, that's on our YouTube channel. Yes, we have Help4HD TV, and I don't know how many shows are in the archives now, but that is available on YouTube. So thank you for mentioning that, Heather.
Not a problem.
I don't know
Yeah.
why I can't get my screen to come up. It's just the strangest thing.
That's weird. We see you good.
Yeah,
Right.
I can see, like when you talk, I see your icon, and when Heather was talking, I could see hers, but that's all I can see.
Wow. Anybody have questions?
On a computer or your phone?
I'm using my computer.
Oh, okay. I was going to say on the phone, I know I have to move my screen to see everybody.
No, it's on my computer, and I use it every week. We have a support group every Tuesday that I run for HD caregivers, and it's for people who are not at risk and who have not tested positive, who take care of someone with HD. And we meet at 5 o'clock Eastern time every Tuesday afternoon, and we usually run for about an hour and a half. And I can always see everybody. So this is just really, really strange. It's really different. We also have a support group for JHD caregivers, and I'm not sure what the day and time is for that one.
That sounds like some good meetings for Heather and Chris.
And I can
Right.
get you that information.
By the way, guys, if you've not signed up for Hype on the 25th, for one thing, I have become friends with quite a few people at Help4HD. They are amazing people. And the swag boxes that Miss Sharon was talking about, and I'm gonna show. I'm really excited about the medicine containers because Nathan's is worn out. So I'm really excited to get a new one that I can actually read the days on. But the LEAP program, we helped Miss Vicky in Biloxi this past year for the Mississippi State Chiefs of Police Convention. And that program is amazing. And we joked, Miss Vicky and I ended up, Nathan wanted to show everyone how about his gait. And so we took the legs off the wheelchair. We ended up having to put them back on because Nathan kept trying to jump up every time a law enforcement person would walk by. He'd go, "You want to see me walk?" And then jump up and try to walk. And there we were both trying to catch him to make sure he didn't fall. So we ended up putting the legs back on so he wouldn't do that. But that program is so amazing. And Help4HD has so many amazing programs. So I can't say enough great things about you guys, Miss Sharon. And we were actually in Nashville and got the cookbook. Actually, Nathan's on the cover. I'm going to brag a little bit there. But we were just thrilled
recipes in there.
Well, no, mine was gadgets. I talked about gadgets. I didn't see it in there though. So I'm gonna have to go back and look. I was so thrilled that Nathan made the cover. I think he was holding the Burger Buddy, and that was amazing too. We talked about the Burger Buddy and Orlando, and then Help4HD. If nothing else, our journey through this seems to have helped other people. If nothing else, by the fact that Help4HD bought hundreds of these Burger Buddies and gave them away to the Huntington's community. And Katie and Katrina had told me that they'd never heard of these things until I mentioned it in Orlando.
That's right.
That just, if nothing else, at least we know that one thing that we have had to go through this hell of HD has been a positive thing in the helping others. But anyway, I'm sorry, I'll shut up. I have a tendency to run my mouth, but I just wanted you guys to know how wonderful these folks at Help4HD truly, truly are, and how they have touched the Wilmoth family's life. And we can't say enough good things about Help4HD. And if you can, go sign up for Hype before those 20 boxes are gone, because not only do you get all kinds of educational value from the actual program, just the swag boxes and these, I mean, they gear these things to help our Huntington's warriors, and it's just they're amazing. And I'm going to shut up now.
Oh no, thank you so much. And I'm glad you mentioned the Burger Buddies, because we get so many ideas from the community, and just like the Burger Buddies. I mean, we learn from each other and we share those things.
When do we get the swag boxes?
They should be going out, I think next week,
Ooh, awesome.
either
Because I
next
signed
week
up.
or the week after. I wanted
Awesome.
to
Thank
mention too, that if you go on the website under resources, there are a bunch of different brochures that you can download. There's a brochure about preparing for clinical trials. It's tips about things that you can do to get ready to participate in the clinical trial that you might not even think about, to make your loved one more comfortable if you're the one accompanying your loved one to a clinical trial, as well as, just practical information about where you can look up information about clinical trials. There's a brochure about safe proofing your house, which is something we all need to do. There are little brochures that you might want to take and give to, if your loved one's in an assisted living or a nursing home and you want to educate them about Huntington's. There are brochures about what is Huntington's. There's a brochure that goes with the law enforcement program that says, "Officer, I'm not drunk," and it tells what are some of the symptoms that a police officer might misinterpret. So there are all kinds of resources like that, and they're free. You just download them and print them off. There was something else. Oh, also we have an online newspaper called the Huntington's Post that's on the website. It has a bunch of articles on all different topics, some are written by me, some are written by other members of Help4HD, some are written by community members. So it's just a big variety of things.
Thank you for coming today, Sharon.
Oh, you're so welcome. I was very happy to do it.
Hi, Sharon. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Melissa.
How are you, Sharon?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for everything that you do. And I always have a really, hold on one second, because I have to move my location so I can ask your question, because I have my sons here. And they have big ears. They only seem to listen to me when I'm asking them not to listen. So sorry. I really was interested in learning more about your police program. How do I get information on that? Because I really want to do that in my town.
Okay.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of funny because when I was first diagnosed with Huntington's, my kids were very little, and my son was entering kindergarten. And one of my first symptoms that I had was a sidestep. Like that was my big first symptom. And I would just step to the side. And that led to like me losing my balance and stepping to the side. And my first instinct in dealing with that, just in waiting in line and stuff at school, was to like inform the school security and to inform the teachers that let out of school, like, I have Huntington's. If you see me doing this, like, I'm like, that's what's happening. I think that I was more concerned about like what other people would say, like
Mhm.
I would like in the lines and stuff. And you know how moms are very chatty and people can be very chatty. So I was like terrified. I was like, God forbid somebody makes a judgment on me and then it gets to the school before I do. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to
Yeah.
get to the school before someone else reported suspicious activity. You know what I mean? I wanted
Yeah.
to be very, and I've been that way since I was diagnosed, like very open with if I come into the school or if and I was just wondering, like, more, yeah. So I want to know about that because I did have a recent interaction with medical and police at my home. And I had to like say to them, because I was dealing with a little medication issue, that I was having my problem was Huntington's related. I wasn't like psychotic. Like I wanted to make sure that I was right away, everybody knew in the room what we were dealing with. This is not,
Mhm.
I had to be really clear with everybody. So it made me think, and I saw this that you had this program. I saw it a few months ago. And of course, like with everything else in my Huntington's journey, it takes me months to actually like get on board with stuff. But I'm dying to know about this program and I want to help with this program in any way I can. I'm in Connecticut. I'm in Monroe, Connecticut.
Mhm.
We don't have a center of excellence in Connecticut, like a HDSA center of
Right.
excellence.
Right.
Um, the community in the state is not really, I don't know, it's kind of, everybody's all over the place, I think, because we don't have a center to go to.
Mhm.
But I really want to know about this and talk about that with you, or I wanted to get the leap.
Um,
So if you,
let me get your email address and I will have Vicki Owen send you that material.
oh, thank you.
So let me pull up. Okay.
It's
Give
so
me
funny
your
because I feel like this disease should come with like a welcome packet. Like I'm like, where's my welcome packet? Like I need a packet to just be like,
Yeah.
I just need to hand people like a little mini packet and just be like, here's my welcome packet. If you're gonna be in my life, you need to know this, and this.
That's
And
not a bad idea.
that's not a bad idea, right? Like a little welcome packet. Like here's what I come with. Here's
Yeah,
what I come
welcome
with.
to my life.
I feel like my mom passed away in 2020 in a care home. So it's like all and I really saw, when my grandmother was in the facility that she was in, they kind of back then kept everybody just sedated, right? All the time.